What's up, Taiwan? I'm Jaime Ocon with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Starting off here in Taiwan, President Tsai on Friday visited a combat readiness unit and members of the Air Force in the country's southwest county of Chiayi. Tsai said China's military activities in the Taiwan Strait were harming peace and stability, and she also laid out her expectations for new national defense measures. Rick Lauer reports.
2023 has barely begun, but already President Taiwan is making a visit to the country's armed forces. This time she's in the country's southwest, at a major military base home to one of Taiwan's combat readiness troops. These will be the first responders in the event of an armed conflict. Simulating the defense of an airport, the troops practice quick deployment to attack and secure targets together with an unmanned aerial vehicle. A single-rotor drone developed by Taiwan's biggest weapon maker and unveiled late last year, today taking part in drills for the first time.
面对威权主义不断的扩张，唯有持续强化国家的战力跟韧性，我们才能够确保国家安全和利益。
As China's threats against Taiwan rise, so too has the island nation's preparations for war. Tsai has overseen unprecedented military spending and recently lengthened mandatory military service from 4 months to 1 year, starting in 2024.
我们透过模拟战场实景的无人机监侦训练，不仅要强化我们官兵实战化的能力，这也是因应当前的新的战争形态。那么，如同我先前所讲的，新制上路以后，国军的训练会更精实。 更贴近实战，也会更符合现代作战的需求。因此，包括无人机在内的新式武器，未来入伍的义务役依照任务的需求，也会接受训练，符合现代作战的需求。
So 2023 begins much like 2022, with tensions with Beijing the highest they've been in decades, and another visit by the president to troops who could find themselves on the front line in a war with Beijing. The president's message, well, that's staying the same too, that whatever the threat, Taiwan is determined to defend its freedom with everything it's got. Leon Lien and Rick Lauert in Chiayi County for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is extending the length of its mandatory military service to a year and more than tripling the pay of conscripts. But the country's defense ministry says the new salary won't be available from day one. Stash Butler reports.
Taiwanese conscripts training hard, but for little financial reward. Right now, they get just $210 a month. In 2024, that will rise to $660, but the Defense Ministry says that's only from 8 weeks after enlisting.
他入伍集训之后，他取得了一个专长的证书，他变成说可以领那个专业加级是10190元，所以是他结训拿到证书合格证书下部队之后，他所领的才是20320元，这是有阶段性的一个领跟条件性的一个发给的方式。
The pay deal is one of several details to emerge on Thursday about Taiwan's plan to extend conscription to a year. When President Tsai announced the change in December, the ministry said conscripts would get training with these top-of-the-line Javelin anti-tank missiles. That raised some eyebrows among experts who say equipment like Javelins and Stinger missiles are too expensive for new recruits to use.
It does not make sense at all to train a conscript to fire a Stinger that's worth tens of thousands of US dollars, and only for him to be discharged in 6 months' time.
But the ministry has refuted those concerns and says its plan is sound.
那标枪飞弹概率要实施4周的训练，那同样的，他的部队里面会持续用模拟器的方式来增加他的一个训练的强度。那最后要做实弹射击的话，我们会结合年度的武器射击的流程来做一个射击的训练。
The plans for longer conscription come as Taiwan faces off an increasingly aggressive China. Beijing claims Taiwan as its own and has not ruled out taking the island nation by force. Taipei officials hope more rigorous military training can ward off potential threats and better serve Taiwan's defense. Damon Lin and Stash Butler for TaiwanPlus.
A former legislator and a retired Rear Admiral of Taiwan's Navy are the latest figures to be caught up in an investigation into an alleged spying ring for China. They're suspected of recruiting retired military personnel to travel on hosted trips to the country, Louise Watt reports.
Former Taiwan legislator Luo Zhiming and retired Rear Admiral Xia Fuxiang leave quickly after being questioned by prosecutors in a Chinese spying case. Both deny recruiting retired military personnel for a Chinese spy ring, but prosecutors still applied to the court to keep them detained.
经检察官认定犯罪嫌疑重大，且有串供、灭证及逃亡之余，已向法院申请羁押禁见。
The allegations against the pair are part of a case that has already seen a retired Air Force colonel arrested. Prosecutors allege the man, surnamed Liu, recruited at least 6 military officers over 8 years to participate in espionage activities for China. Now, prosecutors allege Xia, who served as deputy director of the Navy's Political Warfare Department, was recruited by Luo, a former legislator for the small pro-independence party Taiwan Solidarity Union. Luo had also been a member of the China-friendly Kuomintang, or KMT, Taiwan's main opposition party. He withdrew from politics after losing as the KMT's candidate for Pingdong County legislator in 2012. He allegedly had frequent contact with China. On Thursday, the pair were released on bail. In the past decade, more than 20 active and retired commissioned officers have been indicted for spying in Taiwan on behalf of China. Military analyst Paul Huang says retired officers still have a lot of status within Taiwan's military, which can lead to potential security leaks.
So it is not uncommon for retired officers, especially at the level of generals and admirals, to go back to these camps, to visit their former colleagues, and even serve as advisors to current to active service officers and senior leadership, who might see them as assets rather than security risk.
This latest case is still being investigated, but it's only one in a string of spying allegations in recent years that have involved former military personnel. Coming at a time when China is stepping up its military and political pressure, this is sure to be of grave concern for Taiwan's government and armed forces. As Naya Zhou, Stash Butler, and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has asked to take part in consultations with the World Trade Organization on U.S. export restrictions aimed at China. The restrictions seek to limit China's access to advanced semiconductors. Beijing is challenging these restrictions by taking the matter to the WTO. Taiwan says it has a strong interest in the case as it supplies most of the world's advanced chips. Taiwan's Office of Trade Negotiations told TaiwanPlus that its request to join discussions should not be seen as supporting or opposing China's challenge. It said its request to take part is solely due to its interest in the case as one of the world's major suppliers of semiconductors. Businesses around Taiwan are cashing in on demand for Lunar New Year treats, and one shop in the south of the country has learned this lesson: you need to bake money to make money. The store in Chiayi sells cakes in the shape of several currencies, including Japanese yen, euros, and Taiwan dollars. Its owner, Chen Wenxing, says demand has skyrocketed in the last few days as people buy gifts for their families. Red envelopes with cash are a traditional Lunar New Year's gift, and Chen and his staff are working overtime to make sure they and their customers can bring home some dough. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of latte art by a barista in Kaohsiung in southern Taiwan. I'm Jaime Ocon. Take care and see you next time.